Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty big news and a really big leak when it comes to the upcoming PlayStation Handheld. Now, as you guys do know, hopefully, there was a kind of somewhat PlayStation Handheld that came out not too long ago called the PlayStation Portal. Now, that was kind of basically like more of a remote play, like streaming, Chromecasting to the actual device itself, well, let alone, like having its own individual hardware, software, battery, all that type of stuff mixed on in. But now there's actually even some brand new now rumors for a brand new, think like PlayStation, like PSP, PlayStation Vita, all that type of like brand new hardware built on in Steam Deck type style console that is now making its way around the internet as of today. Brand new PlayStation hardware, and this is something that I myself am getting really excited for, especially with how kind of cool the idea on the PlayStation Portal was, and how there's a lot of cool stuff that we can probably make to make a brand new PlayStation handheld device that's better than the Portal, and I'm excited to go talk about it. So let's go talk about it. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. You know, the Twitter and Twitch room down below. If you guys like to go and follow, and of course, sign up for Weeble, deposit pretty much any amount of money with the link down below. You guys get a bunch of free stock, free money, make like $100 doing nothing. So might as well do that down below, and let's dive on into some pretty good and juicy gossip. So, as you guys probably saw, we had a cool PlayStation event yesterday, had a cool brand new games, whatever, sure. And as well, we also have the PlayStation Portal's been sold out for a little bit, it's been doing pretty well. I think people actually enjoyed the idea of it, price point behind it, everything else in between. A portable console always sounds nice, and that is kind of the current trend in gaming with the, the Steam Deck, the Switch, or whatever it might be. But right now, people want a little bit more. Even when the PlayStation Portal came out, I either wanted like cloud streaming and PlayStation Plus streaming built into it, where I don't necessarily have to have it connected to remote play on my PlayStation 5. And as well, I also always love the idea of, say, the PSP. Back in the day, we had your own individual handheld device that's completely separate and has no ties in with a PlayStation console. Right, as you guys know, the PlayStation Portal, you need to have a PlayStation 5 to remote play onto it. And like I said, this one is a brand new hardware that seems to be standalone. So let's go talk about this because this is sick. There's basically right now brand new gaming rumor speculations and all of that, where the new PlayStation handheld powered by AMD is now in early development with 16 CUs, 1.0 gigahertz or slower GPU to maintain compatibility with PS4 and PS5 titles. So it's gonna be a little bit of an intriguing one to go and break on down because, like I said, I like the idea of a brand new PlayStation handheld. I loved my PSP and Vita, and kind of the big subject before we dive on in, would you guys buy this? Let me know. I would probably put this on a yes for me. A new PlayStation handheld powered by AMD is in early development and will apparently be compatible with both the PS4 and PlayStation 5 titles. As reported by Moore's Law is dead in a new YouTube video, the Japanese company is apparently planning to re-enter into the handheld market with new hardware. And like I said, we had the PlayStation Portal, it's doing well. The reception's really good, but they can make it a lot better. That's just an ascension of the PlayStation 5, like let alone not its own individual, like basically hardware. The individual is potential. There is a lot of cool stuff with this. The console will be powered by a custom-built AMD APU, and it's currently in the high-level design phase, meaning that it's still at least 2 years away, and it has been fully greenlit as of this second, but right now, it's like basically it's cooking. It's being made, like it's deep enough out there that there's leaks coming out. Typically, if you're a company and you have like these brainstorming sessions, sure, cool. But why do you want to share it? Once you kind of get to the points where it's like, hey, let's go maybe try to go and fine tune the design. Hey, let's maybe start like assembling these types of things to see how much it would take, how much money it would cost, like if it's actually efficient, if it works. Like let's actually make a prototype to see if it'll work long term. We're kind of getting close to that point right this second, which is how more information is getting out. The more people involved means more likely leaks are, means more information is kind of being spread or can be accessible by more people, and typically it's on the sketchy side. The specs for this new PlayStation handheld have been yet to be defined because it's still really early leaks, but Moore's Law is dead speculates it's likely to utilize 18 CUs to maintain compatibility with all PlayStation 4 titles available on the PlayStation Store. In addition, the console will be compatible with PlayStation 5 titles as well, although developers would have to patch them to make them run properly on the console. So maybe let's say like the console itself, like this brand new handheld console, is maybe not the highest in terms of specs, which is fine. Think about the Switch. It's always been more on the focus on the portable side, slightly lower specs. Even the upcoming Switch 2 Super Switch is basically around like a PS4's level is what we're expecting. I mean, it's smaller. You don't have enough space to put in like a huge GPU. I think my current 3080 Ti is quite literally bigger than my entire Switch. So like it makes sense. Like you got to go and have like, efficiency for what you got. But when it comes to this too as well, it's cool because this is good. Like this is something I would want. I would buy this. Now, granted, it may not be like as the so okay, let me kind of like backtrack. There's a lot to go and talk about. The PlayStation 5 is pretty taxing. That's why I kind of talked about the console being like kind of a very big console. So the fact that you have a portable console with at least PS4, maybe PS5 graphics, you might have to go in downscale maybe to 720p, or maybe not have like 1440 hertz, or maybe not run 4K, or if you do, maybe just been a really lower smaller resolution, smaller screen, maybe smaller, draw distance, etc. Like you can basically go and kind of play around with it a little bit to make it go and work. On a smaller screen, you have to basically you can go make 4K happen a lot easier on a smaller screen, or at least have like say 1080p will look really nice because it's smaller, more condensed, and it makes sense. But it seems like this is that we're in this awkward kind of, you want to have the power, say a PC, PlayStation. We also wanted the portability. Think like the Lenovo Steam Deck. Even the Steam Deck is way weaker than a normal good PC. But the idea of like playing in your bed or on the go, waiting for an airplane, is kind of what's pushing for it. So I think right now PlayStation has also made a lot of old PlayStation, say Vitas and the PSP, where they could probably be, good at this. Like they've had prior experience in terms of mass production and making them, and also having their old PlayStation studios making games. Although this will be a little bit on the taxing side for devs, because you basically would have to remake or downscale a certain game, because the PS5 once again has more power than what you'd be able to go have most likely for a handheld device. So, while they're saying, the PlayStation handheld could just be 2 years away, there is a chance it will take more time to see its release if it's greenlit. As has been suggested to Moore's Law is dead, is that the console will possibly be part of the PlayStation 6 family, releasing as a handheld alternative for the Japanese market, which also leads into kind of a cool idea as well, where this can maybe turn into, hey, you could either go buy a PlayStation, like the big head honcho PlayStation, or you'll get like our PlayStation Portable. But not like the portable we have right now, more of like a PSP alternative, which I think is really smart. Because a lot of these companies are doing like hey, we have a big head honcho console and something smaller, something cheaper. So why not just make it a handheld? Make it a little bit worse, but make it a handheld. So think like the Xbox Series S. Like, why not just replace that with a slightly less efficient handheld device? Make it cost $300, you can have more of an excuse to have weaker specs, and it'd probably make a lot more sense to have like big game companies and developers downscale to make it work. Same with the PlayStation. You had the PlayStation 5 Disc Edition and the digital. Although they were the same specs, there was like this weird alternate where like some people had the higher end with the disc, some people didn't. Kind of like drove like a little bit of a small wedge in between people with the consoles. Nothing big, but it was there. So why not do the same thing? You have one console, PlayStation 5, or let's say Xbox case, an Xbox, and then you just go and make a handheld alternative. That sounds really smart. You basically have to have the casual gamers or people who like want to more play on the go, which has kind of been the current trend with the Switch, Lenovo Go, Steam Deck, all these handheld devices coming out. And as well, you could also maybe have it be an extension still of your console. Maybe you have like a PS5 game, you could play on them both. So it's kind of like you can kind of multitask and switch between the two. I think that's insane. I think that's really cool, and I think that's something I myself would buy. Now on the reverse side, it would be kind of hardcore for the devs if it's not really like massively kind of picked up. Think how the PlayStation VR 2 is right now. Now a lot of developers and third-party devs want to go and either spend the extra hour, man hours, or development costs to make VR if the install base is there. Although I do think something like a PSP has had prior like consistency. People bought it. People liked it. I myself were part of that, or the Vita. So I feel like a PlayStation already kind of has that old school audience that built up, like grew up on that, like myself. They already built it up. So I think this would work out really well. I think I'd prefer its own individual console rather than, say, a PlayStation Portal. I think the idea of remote play is cool and streaming's cool, but I want to have my own individual internal hardware where I could kind of take it on the go. Or if I don't have a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6 as we're talking about in this video, I can still use the handheld. I feel like at the end of the day, that makes a lot of sense. So if this one's saying with the new, while a new PlayStation handheld could sound unlikely, the market has changed a lot since the days of the PlayStation Vita. The Nintendo Switch, the Steam Deck, and all the other similar systems prove that there is a demand for similar devices, and I want to know if you guys would buy one yourselves. So wouldn't it be surprising for Sony to get back into a system that could fare much better than the Vita, as it would be compatible with home console titles? As of now, however, we have to take everything with a grain of salt and wait for the official confirmation. So basically, all these initial leaks are saying there's going to be like a somewhat standard like PlayStation Portal with like a PS4 type level internalness to go compete with like say the Switch, Switch 2, Super Switch, Steam Deck, etc. And it seems like it's pretty deep in the whole development cycle that we're now hearing rumors and leaks on it because AMD is also making their own custom like internals for it. So I'm very intrigued. The very, very high level basic leak coming out, but I want to buy one of these. I'm really cool with this. I want to go and buy this in the first place. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Got that Twitter and Twitch and that Weeble down below, so follow those on up or join as well. And I appreciate y'all for watching in the first place.